After losing the business he built from nothing, Richard feels like he has lost his identity. But when he meets an old man in a quiet park, their simple conversation helps him see that letting go is not weakness, it's the beginning of something new. Richard Collins sat on a wooden park bench, motionless. In his hands was a notebook. The pages were clean, white, and painfully empty. He wasn't sure why he brought it. Maybe to write down ideas, maybe to write a plan, maybe just to feel like he was still building something. But nothing came. The pen hadn't touched the paper, not since last week when he signed the final paper that ended his company. 12 years. 12 years of 5 a.m. alarms, missed birthdays, and working through weekends. 12 years of telling himself it would all be worth it one day. And now it was all gone. The office space was sold. The logo he had designed himself was taken down. The staff he had hired were working somewhere else, and Richard didn't know what to do with himself. The city moved around him. Joggers passed. Children laughed near the fountain. A dog barked somewhere behind him. But Richard felt stuck in a moment that wouldn't move. Then he heard footsteps. Slow, steady. An older man, gray-haired, in a warm sweater and soft scarf, walked up and sat at the other end of the bench. He held a steaming cup of coffee. He didn't speak right away. They just sat. After a long pause, the man glanced at Richard's notebook. "New idea?" he asked, smiling gently. Richard gave a short laugh. "No, nothing like that. It's more like an obituary." The man tilted his head. "Something died?" Richard nodded. "My company, my career, my everything, really." The man didn't flinch. "I'm Harold," he said. "Used to be a school teacher." "Richard," he replied, shaking Harold's hand. "Let me guess," Harold said. "You built something, it fell apart, and now you don't know who you are without it." Richard blinked. He hadn't said it like that before, but yes, that was it. "I gave it everything," Richard said. "I worked harder than anyone I knew. I didn't take vacations. I skipped my brother's wedding to meet a client. And now," he looked down, "now it's all gone, just like that." Harold sipped his coffee. "Let me tell you something," he said. "There was a time I used to carry this big old box from classroom to classroom. Had everything in it, books, chalk, papers, even a world globe that didn't spin right."
"Why?" Richard asked. "Because I thought I needed it," Harold said. "Every day I carried it. My back hurt, my arms ached, but I told myself this is what a good teacher does. And then one day I forgot the box, left it at home." He smiled. "I panicked at first, but you know what happened?" Richard shook his head. "Nothing. The class went fine. The kids listened. I didn't need the box. I only thought I did." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Harold leaned forward. "Sometimes we carry something not because it helps us, but because we're afraid of what we'll be without it." Richard stared at his notebook. He thought of the long nights in the office, the days he missed family dinners, the voice in his head that said, "Just keep pushing. You'll be proud when it works." And now he was left with nothing but exhaustion. "It wasn't just a company," Richard said softly. "It was who I was. When people said my name, they thought of my work. They respected it. Now I feel invisible." Harold nodded. "And maybe that's okay," he said. because now you get to decide who you are without needing anyone else to say it for you. What if I don't know? Richard asked. Then you're in the best place to start, Harold said. Not all blank pages are scary. Some are invitations. Richard closed the notebook, not in defeat, but with a sense of quiet relief. He still didn't know what came next, but for the first time, that didn't feel like failure. It felt like space. Over the next few weeks, Richard did nothing big. He slept in. He took walks without his phone. He helped a friend fix their website. He cooked for his mom. And he wrote. Not business plans, not pitches, just thoughts, ideas, stories, things he'd forgotten he loved. One morning, he returned to the park bench. Harold was there again, coffee in hand. "You look taller," Harold said, smiling. Richard laughed. "I think I'm just standing straighter." He showed Harold the notebook, now full of words, ideas, even doodles in the margins. That's the sound of something new, even if you don't know the name yet. 6 months later, Richard stood at the front of a classroom. He was speaking to a group of young adults at a local community center. He wasn't wearing a suit. There was no slideshow, no title card, just him and his story. "I used to think success was about never stopping, about holding on no matter what. But sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let go."
The room was quiet. Then a young woman raised her hand. "What do you do now?" Richard smiled. "Now?" He paused. "Now I breathe. I teach. I help people build things they won't be afraid to walk away from, because no dream is worth losing yourself over." And when the session ended, one of the students stopped him at the door. "Thank you," she said. "I was scared to stop something that wasn't working, but now I think I will." Richard nodded. As he stepped outside, the wind touched his face. He looked up at the sky, wide and open, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel like he had to chase anything. He just let go and kept walking forward. Letting go is not giving up. It's choosing peace over pride. When we release what we no longer need, we make space for what we truly are.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss powerful motivational stories like this.